Hey everyone, welcome back. BetSperts Golf, Butterfield, Bermuda Championship here with my friend, returning after a 1 week sabbatical, much missed. Andy, how we doing?
Yeah, I guess a good sabbatical. No one would have talked me into betting EVR.
He did show up well in the model that I ran last week, which is surprising. But the form leading up to it was good. That was not a bet that I was going to make, but yeah, good for him. Good story. Good,
real good story.
Yeah,
fun tournament. This tournament not really well attended, which I was just chatting on the Twitter with my friend Dwayne about. It seems silly. Like even if you got invited, why wouldn't you go to this one? It's Bermuda. Just go dick around for 2 days. If you don't make the cut, you're in Bermuda. Like just hang out. And
that's a conversation I had with my wife this morning, a novice. She's asking, what are you and Andy talking about today? I said we were talking about Bermuda Championship, and so it's a real challenge to talk about this one. No one's there. It's kind of gross. And so why is no one go? Like, it's aesthetically a gorgeous course. It's on the coast. Yeah. It's in Bermuda. I mean, it's an island, so of course it's on the coast. But yeah, it's just we're in the swing season, the fall season. I mean, and it's it's not great. I would love to go, but yeah, they didn't invite us. So here we are sitting in our Midwestern towns talking about it instead. It's a lot less
it's like
fun.
40 and raining here. It is a long way from Bermuda, but yeah, not a great field. Kind of a fun course. Not a tough course, but it is similar to a lot of the coastal courses. I mean, not just in the Caribbean, however you want to do it. You'll see this at the RBC. You'll see this obviously in Hawaii. You'll see this in Mexico, and even just some places along California and stuff too, where the defense sometimes is just the wind, and here it is really just. Like if there was one other defense that wasn't the weather and wind, it's the par threes are kind of long, which is like a laughable thing to say out loud. It's like, that's the tough part. The par threes are over 200 yards. These are professionals. It's fine. A 215-yard par three would give you and I some trouble. I'd be chipping 40 yards away. Trying to find anything on the green, just some purchase to try to two putt for bogey, but it's not that big of a deal for these guys. There's a lot of easy par fours. All the fives are pretty reachable. Again, unless you're fighting some wind on some of those. The rough is not terribly penal. That's why you see it's narrow fairways.
Yeah,
but still gonna see some guys just go driver anyway, because these greens are easy to hit even from the rough. It's like 2-inch rough. Everything's Bermuda down here. It is in Bermuda. You can't not have Bermuda.
Wouldn't it be weird if they had
the island? Yeah, the island is not called centipede grass. It is the island of Bermuda. So pretty much all across the courses, that's the kind of turf you're going to deal with. I don't know. Anything else on the course you have?
Not really.
Probably going to keep it short today.
Not really. I mean, it is it's very short. Like you said, it's an island. It's not a lot of room. When you look at the leaderboard here in the past, it is a lot of guys that are typically contending, and often because of the lack of distance. At the same time, distance, I think, will matter, especially if there ends up being some wind on the weekend, because that is definitely the lone defense of the course. As we typically see in coastal courses, when the wind kicks up, that tends to be the only thing that prevents us from getting into like the mid-20s in terms of scoring. So putters, and you look at, previous winners here, anytime that Brandon Todd, Brian Gay, those guys are winning here. That's, Lucas Herbert, those are just putters, to be honest. I mean, and, Lucas Herbert's a guy you love to fade. So we're at a spot where Lucas Herbert does well. We're in a difficult track. David Hearn, multiple top 10s here. We've only been coming here for 4 years. So this is year 5 of this event. So, not a laundry list of prominent names. And I made the mistake, and I told you earlier, like, I built the model first. So you can use our customizable stat database over at BetSperts Golf, and you can use the promo code SWING50, which you definitely should do. If you head over to BetSports Golf, Swing 50 is going to get you the best annual price. So you can use that now. You get access to the rest of this season. There's not a lot left, but it gets you all of 2024 and allows you to build your own model. And, again, as I talked about last week here in the show, what I did without Andy, the model I don't think should be the end all be all. It should be like the start of your research essentially, and start to dig in off of that model to see if there's anything there. And we had some, EVR was up there. He was inside the top 10. Some other guys that finished really well were in the mix. Even like a Kelly Craft, I was surprised when the model spit out Kelly Craft, and he was like top 10 heading into Sunday, and kind of collapsed. But that's kind of what you can do using the database. Use the promo code Swing50. Check that out. Yeah, it's a spot where, like, I wouldn't say distance matters, but like guys that can hit it a little bit further are going to have an advantage when we're getting some spots into the wind here. And the wind, again, we're Tuesday morning. Check the wind as we get closer. But I think it does matter a little bit in terms of, I think it's always a little bit of an advantage. So weak fields, the only top 50 players, Scott and Lucas Glover. You had a bunch of prominent, swing season guys, Cam Champ, EVR, because he won. Chesson Hadley, who I thought might be a play for me. But I ran the model before looking at the odds board. I ran the model. I'm like, I'm going to maybe some Chesson Hadley a little bit down the board, or maybe some Ben Griffin. And then all of a sudden I look at the odds board. These guys are all like 25. It's a really tough week, Andy.
It is. Do you want to just, instead of actually building it on air, since you've already put it together, do you want to pull it up, kind of show what we're showing value on this week? I haven't built anything yet. I was going to start. Start is probably the wrong word for it. I was going to, and I will when I build my own model for this week, before I make all my final decisions. I am going to include driving distance. I think I think it's different when you're looking at, and I'm going to go to the far end of the spectrum. Let's just say like a major level field. We're at the Masters. Let's say that field is playing here. There's so many good golfers that the driving distance stuff, it's going to get made up for by some of the elite, 200 yard, 175 and out kind of irons players, some elite putters, some guys that are just really, really good at golf. But when you have a shitty field like this, and all apologies to Adam Scott and the gang, but it is a shitty field. Like something like driving distance is going to set you apart, because you have a bunch of guys who it's like, hey, here's a bunch of guys who are middle of the pack, probably at about everything. There's guys that are better at this and worse at that, but you're not going to have a bunch of elite irons guys. You're not going to have a bunch of guys who are, hey, this guy's, top 10 and, 200 and out with his irons every week for like the last 5 years. Those people don't exist. So like, I feel like the driving distance advantage is a little more pronounced when it is a poor field like this. And we're just looking at not truly a birdie fest or a putting contest, but it is still a spot where you have to score quite a bit. You're going to have to get near 20. There was a year that 24 under was achieved here. So depending on the weather, you still need to find an awful lot of like close proximity here.
Yeah, I think that is, hold on, let me see if I can get this so we don't have to look at each other and twice, we only look at each other once.
I'll see if that works.
I love looking at you. It's my favorite thing to do.
Yeah? Are you gonna pull this up then? You're working on
I'm gonna pull it up. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna pull it up. All right. So we can just to give you a little sense of what this does. I think we could share here. Thank you, producer Dan. Again, you can go over to betsportsgolf.com. You can go into the tools section. This is one of the tools that we have. This is our customizable golf stat database. Allows you to build out models and do whatever you want. You can see here we are looking at the Bermuda fields. Again, you can really chop this up in a number of different ways and spit out all sorts of rounds. You can chop it up by the view, strokes gain data, off the tee approach, fairway rough approach around the green, scoring, putting, as you can see here. There's lots of other different filtering conditions that you can get into. Short courses, you want to get round specific, like, Andy loves betting round matchups. If you think there's something sticky in terms of how someone plays in a specific round, scoring conditions, green speed, you can see all the different things here. If you're hanging out with us on YouTube, just the way to check this out. We can break down putting services, which is something that I did here a little bit as well. all sorts of different ways into chopping this up. Really simple. You simply find something you like, change it by the number of rounds. You click this little add, you can add it to your report, and you can run it. And this is what is spit out for me here. Let's see here. Let's see what I did. So I have putting here. This is just last 50 rounds on Bermuda. Again, just to capture top of the level, who these, the best golfers are. Ball striking and tee to green stuff over the last, short term and longer term, just to get a sense of, who's playing well of late. When you get a guy like an Adam Scott, like a Lucas Glover, they're not playing a lot of swing season events. So it's a little noisy pulling in their tee to green stuff over the last 36 rounds at times, because we're pulling in stuff from like July for Lucas Glover, which is why he's at the top here. But, grain of salt. Good drive percentage. Again, the combination of, accuracy, putting yourself in position to get on the green, give yourself a scoring chance. I did factor in driving distance because it is a short course. I think you have a lot of shorter irons. So you see I'm capturing fairway, basically 3 buckets, 75 to 150. Same thing with the rough, because as you mentioned, fairways hit aren't super high here. But
you
rough,
threw a lot. You threw a lot into this.
Yeah, but like really small, chopped them up a little bit so you can kind of cut them up and see what matters here. And then, because again, you can be in the rough here and still find yourself in scoring position, because that's kind of how this place plays. The rough, as you mentioned, is not very penal. And then birdie or better. Are we scoring? And then are you avoiding bogeys? Or that's in this place, probably avoiding the water, avoiding the bad misses off the tee, stuff like that. So these are all the ways that you do it. Try to, as we talked about last week too, redundancy is going to happen at times. We're going to capture ball striking in tee to green. It's going to be sometimes captured in some of these fairway things if you're dealing with approach. It's going to happen. That's why I said don't use a model as an end-all be-all. But if we just search the rankings in terms of who came out on top here, top of the model, Lucas Glover. Luke List is playing really good golf. Ryan Moore. So when we get a Ryan Moore course, we're at a unique track. Penalized for driving distance, not a good putter, but the rest of it's pretty good. Again, Kelly Craft is here.
Kelly Craft looks like an SEC offensive coordinator.
He does. I think
he's got little sometimes like the mini mullet. He's got the visor.
He's a get back coach for Arkansas, I think. But he's also playing golf. Not going to be invited back to Tiger's course. Did you see Kelly Craft had some not fond things to say about Tiger's track? So Kelly Craft, one and done, taking a shot at the King. I don't think he's going back to Tiger's course if that happens to come back again. Russell Knox, not a name you see often, but it plays. I think he's high in the win stuff. Yeah. Adam Scott here, 6th. Matthias Schmidt, Troy Merritt, DJ Trahan. Some guys we've never even talked about.
We're not betting DJ Trahan.
Doug Gim rounds out the top 10. And some other names here right below it here: Ben Griffith, Mark Hubbard, Brandon Todd, and Nick Hardy. Interesting to me as well. So
Doug Gim can't putt, but
Doug Gim's the one I haven't bet that I've been looking at.
The rest of his game kind of lines up here.
Yeah.
And Doug Gim does have some good rounds. Doug Gim, if I do bet Doug Gim, it'll probably be first round leader as well. Like this guy comes out of the gate hot. He's first round leader by 3 strokes, finishes T38, and at least I get a little money out of it for the maybe he just chops the first round with DJ Trahan. That would be a ultimate calling my shot on that one. But yeah, Gim, somebody who interests me. Obviously, Scott's price is going to be bad. I haven't looked.
Here's the problem with Scott. He's told us that these events don't matter, but he's here, right? But it's like, why are you here then? Because it's Bermuda and you're Adam Scott. Like, I don't know, because you can. It's interesting. The Doug Gim stuff. Yeah, if you look here, like birdie or better and bogey avoidance. Yeah, top 7 in both. That's pretty nice too. As you mentioned, the putting isn't great, but everything else, tee to green, ball striking, good drives. Those things are all checking the boxes that we're looking for this week too. Ben Griffith, also interesting. Nice showing last year. Probably should have won. I think he was the leader heading into the 4th round, and I think had an over par round, which is probably just pants got a little too tight on a Sunday afternoon, which can happen. but playing better golf since is a guy that we've liked to back. Again, he's like 22 in the market. That's just so hard. We like Ben Griffin at 80, but this is what we're dealing with here. And like you've pointed out, we're probably gonna have to deal with this all year. Some prices that we don't like in terms of even when we get into the big boy fields, smaller fields, no cut events. It's just going to be a different year for golf betting, and something that I've been thinking about in terms of how do I change my stake or process, or because some of those tickets just get more expensive with the way I typically do it. So maybe I have to change, but that's maybe something I do here with the swing season too, is just, fractional bets versus to win unit wise. So anyone else jumping out at you besides DJ Trahan?
I'm finding like 8 guys and putting, like a 1/10 of a unit on them. Like that's the strategy here, isn't it? It's just find some longer shots. This feels like a high variance event. Like no interest in anyone near the top of the board. If I wanted to bet somebody on the top of the board, I'd go do it in South Africa. Like go bet the Nedbank. Go bet Homa to win the Nedbank at like 8-1. Like that's a feasible result.
Yeah.
Actually, Rosie at like 20-1. I kind of looked at the other golf tournament as well. I don't mind Justin Rose at 21, but like Adam Scott 16-1. Yeah, he's one of the best in the field, but he says he doesn't really care. Like Akshay, I'm not betting Akshay at 25-1 in a legitimate PGA event. He hasn't been playing all that well. He's just kind of a well-liked golfer for some reason in some of these markets. Herbert, they're probably priced about the right spot. And then, there's so many guys that are 25 and under. So at that point, it's like, I'll look at Gim, 30 or better. I'll look at maybe Adam Long, 55.
Smalley's so expensive.
I can't get behind that at that price.
Yeah, that's the problem.
25.50. Alex Smalley. No tanks. Matty Schmidt, 50-1. The German, like you said, he came up. Big hitter. She bet Peter Kest 80.
Yeah, I mean, it's somewhat interesting. I mean, I started wanting to go down the board just to see. He does benefit from distance. He's had some decent runs. Where is he? He's right here. Yeah, look, real good Bermuda putter as well, which is nice. The short stuff off the fairway. So this is where I think sometimes you got to think of this a little bit. Short course. He's long off the tee. So you would think in terms of like distribution of approach shots, he's going to land in this 75 to 100 bucket more often than not. He seems to be pretty terrible at it in relation to the field. So it's a bad combination of skills kind of coalescing there that makes it a little tougher. But can score. Look, he's top 10 in both, birdie or better or bogey avoidance.
Obviously this time last year he was playing in a different tour. Not a lot of sample. Obviously had some fun over the summer. Real good showing at Mortgage and John Deere, but hasn't done a lot in the swing season. Although this is quite a different course than Shriners. So maybe Peter Kest. I'm gonna go shop around. And Link agrees. Link says volume agreed. So. 8, it's going to be 8 or 10 small bets. I'm going to run some models myself here after we get done. I'm going to look at a few guys. I think Doug Gim is locked on. He's like my expensive guy. That'll be
we've been doing this season too.
That's the lowest price I'm going to bet.
Yeah, it's like show bets. We're in it together. We kind of talk through it and get a sense of what it'd be like. We are definitely in a unique spot this week. But yeah, I can get there in the Doug Gim stuff. I think I saw 25s, 30s. Do you see a 30 out there?
Yeah, I can get a 30.
Yeah, I can get behind that on Doug Gim. The rest of it's a little, Luke List. Is Luke List going to win twice in the swing season? Everything here is really good. He's been playing excellent golf. It's that thing we joke about. I joked about it with Calhoun before. We want form until you win. And once you won, I don't want your form anymore. You keep getting me T2s, I keep going back to the well, but as soon as you cross off the W, I can't go back to you. So can I not back Luke List because he already won the swing season? Again, do I want to actually back Luke List the second time in the swing season at 22-1? That's a different conversation. So,
Smotherman.
Yeah.
75 or better. That's probably a bet. Russell Knox is 120-1. I don't see why not. I've bet on him at worse prices. That's probably a bet. I'm not betting Troy Merritt. His numbers kind of wonky.
Yeah. Look at this though. Back to Luke List, 10th in putting on Bermuda in the last 50 rounds. Ooh, that's the bugaboo, right? I mean, that's it. That's been
He's
the
got
problem.
it sorted. Is Luke List fixed? Are we having the wrong conversation? Are we saying, oh, I can't bet Luke List at the Bermuda Butterfield Open? Are we instead saying, what is Luke List's price at Augusta? the putter's fixed. The rest of the game's ours.
Yeah.
Like multiple major winner next year, Luke List. Is he next year's is he Scotty Scheffler?
Yeah, look into the future markets. Any, to win any major, Luke List.
This is not financial advice. Please don't do that.
I still feel Luke List. Every time I just think about Farmers and Torrey Pines and that playoff with our boy Will. That's the painful memories of Luke List for me. So yeah, maybe he owes me some money. I want like Ben Griffin and Smalley makes a ton of sense, but like the prices are gross. I mean, I think they're going to be like chalk DFS plays. I think Gim is the way to go. Maybe I take a shot at Luke List. We can't talk about this long and not.
Knox is like the same price as Camilo Villegas. Camilo Villegas sucks.
He almost won last week.
I know. That shit happens. But now are people going to be betting him off that performance? He's going to miss like 7 cuts in a row. Like, don't bet Camilo Villegas. I guess, maybe he's all right on some of these resort courses, but I've seen that guy play too much. If you want me to bet money on somebody down there, I got Cam Percy at $1.25. I'd rather put 10. I'd rather put a tenner. Is that what they say across the pond? Put a tenner on him.
I think Cam Percy was he first round leader last week. I felt for you. I mean, I don't know that you would have made that bet necessarily, but that's
probably not. Cam Percy is. I'm a Cam Percy guy though. If I can bet on a 40, God, he's got to be 48.
Yeah. Look at this though. Cam Percy just dialed in from the rough. If I'm Cam Percy, I'm not even hitting fairways. Just throw me in the long stuff and let me just drop it up there. Look at him. He's dialed in off the rough. Let's see. Does he hit fairways? Where we had good drive percentage? He hits too many fairways. Not even playing to his strengths.
No, you got to put those two stats together and realize he's good out of the rough, but poor guy is putting too many balls on the fairway. I don't have a ton of other guys.
No.
We always said this was going to be a short one.
We're longer than I thought.
Kevin Yu, price is a little short. No, Chunan Yu, Kevin Yu.
Okay.
Really good off the tee guy.
Yeah.
Like he might just be in a lot of good positions, and he's a good enough ball striker. He's a bad putter. Like he's another one.
Terrible
of those
putter.
If the putter gets a little hot, he's fine. Kevin Yu from Chinese Taipei.
I think Pendra's going to be popular because Pendra's actually for a guy with some distance has played some of the longer or shorter courses pretty well.
Brandon Wu is interesting, but that price sucks as well. Sam Bennett, what's Sam Bennett look like? Sam Bennett looks like I don't know. He kind of looks like John Fetterman.
Smaller, significantly smaller, but yeah.
Sam Bennett apparently is an ice hockey player too.
Is he?
Bennett, yeah, he has the bad goatee.
Yeah.
Don't wear that.
Sam Bennett also took a long time to play his rounds at the Masters. Brooks Koepka, not a fan of Sam Bennett. Let's see, not great. Decent putter apparently on. Although I imagine it's a small sample, but yeah, because Sam Bennett's has not accumulated 50 rounds of Bermuda putting for sure. Ball striking's fine. Nothing else is particularly good here, unfortunately.
Charlie Hoffman's not getting my money. Ryan Palmer is a terrible price for a guy who can't putt. Yeah, that might be where I leave you here. Cameron Percy. I keep going back to Cameron Percy. All right, so I will have. I'm gonna go shop. I don't have all the prices figured. I only have one book open, but Doug Gim is making the card, 100%. Peter Cast and Austin Smotherman making the card, 100%.
Okay.
Kevin Yu, probably, if I can find something better than 50. Russell Knox, I bet I can go find a 150 on that. Just gonna be darts. Obviously, if you have some darts, leave them in the Doc Redmond. The Doc Redmond thing is over. We had the GIFs ready, Cal. It's not happening. Like it felt like it was going to happen for a little bit. That was going to be a fun one when we finally got home on Doc, but not there. Is he even in this field?
Yeah, I got him up here. It's not terrible.
He's about $150.
It's not great, but it's not terrible. Ball striking's been okay in this field of late. He's going to put himself in position off the tee, and birdies are decent. So, it looks like he's going to avoid the big number. But yeah, I don't hate. Doc had a run there. Was it like 2019 or something like that? It was, looked like he was going to be a guy, but not happening for Doc.
Yeah, I just pulled up Ryan Armour's page. That's not happening, guys. That's not a bet I'm going to make. Right. I'll sort it out. I'll for sure tweet something out once I have some things finalized. Obviously, I'll put it in the private members only Discord. Get a couple of specials on it. Like you can get the year special for what is it, $50 off?
Yep.
It's probably about as low of a price as we're going to go. Swing 50. I mean, just put in the promo code swing 50 and it takes you there. But also, if you want to try it out for a shorter period, we have a swing 75. I think that's just a month you get a month for $5. If you just want to try before you commit to something longer, obviously you're not going to get as many tournaments because it's a month rather than a year and we're in a weird spot, but basically it's like try it out for the next few weeks for $5. So if you have any questions on that, obviously we're on the Twitter machine. You can email us. I'm sure there's a contact form on the website. Check it out, betspertsgolf.com. Build yourself a model like this. Come up with the winner. Let us know how smart you are. Find us in the Discord. Anything else, Ryan? Or should we just should we call it a day here?
Call it a day. Yeah, thanks for hanging out. Hit the subscribe and the like button on the way out. And we'll be back. We do have another tournament next week. So the swing 75, $5 for a month. At least get this and you get next week. I don't know exactly what the schedule looks like after that. I think it gets a little bit thin. But yeah, then we're taking advantage of the full year. Like you said, $50 off for the entire year. All the articles, tools, picks, all the stuff. It's a pretty good deal. So check those out. Appreciate you guys.